Alright, this thing has had a vacuum for a while. Let's hook the gauges up and see if there's still a vacuum in there. Oh, that one's going to be in the way. Let's see, I'll twist it out maybe. Going to have to go over here. Yeah, hose is in the way. Yeah, that's the low side. Let's look at the high side. High side. Let's open it. Okay, well, that side is already open. We got -4. So there still is a vacuum on there, and it's been 2 days. I think the system's good. I've got to get a nitrogen tank at some point before I fill it to make sure, because vacuum won't tell you necessarily if you have a leak because of the way the seals are used. Typically you evacuate the system down to a certain amount of level to get the moisture out, and then you immediately pressurize it, and when you pressurize it, the gas pushes against the connections which the seals seal. So when you pull a vacuum, it can sometimes loosen up seals, but the fact that this is held, you know, it's below 0, so there's still a vacuum there, and something is leaking on the connections here. You can see it slowly creeping back to 0, but the only way really to know for sure is to pressurize it, and I do not want to put compressed air in there because it is loaded with moisture. So I'm gonna have to go pick up a nitrogen tank, and then we can charge it with nitrogen. But seems like the new plate remakes of the manifold plates work. This is one that I didn't mess with. I just assembled it. I'm going to see to make sure the pipes will fit in it as it was cut, because I did some filing. Something was out of alignment, so I did filing on these sides, this side and that side, and it is a little bit looser. It's obviously pulling it so evenly, and it's sealing it up. So we'll have to verify that with nitrogen, but I want to see if the regular initial machining fits, and if it does, then I'm going to put this one in, and I'll have that as a backup, and I'll have 2 more that I can make. 1 or 2 more. I think I ordered, yeah, because here's one right here. That's one I haven't put studs in or tapped it yet. So let's take the other one out. We'll release the vacuum on this. Take the other retaining plate out, manifold plate out, put this one in, see if it fits. Let's take this back off and see how this one fits. One that has been unmodified. Tricky to get to right there. And we got one right in the middle. Pull the plate down onto the expansion valve. There we go. Alright, good to go. Now I need Allen here, hex 4mm. two retaining bolts here. Pull the expansion block off. You can see how loose this one is. I'm hoping I can get, let's see. Oh, come on. It is a tight squeeze. Get them both out. You'll see on this one, I filed down the edges here. Everything else is the same. This is a brand new one with the studs installed. See how this one goes in. Push the evaporator box over just a little bit. And get everything to seat. Is it gonna go? That is weird because I measured it. It's exactly the size of that. The high pressure line, the smaller one, it's exactly the same size as the factory retaining plate, but I think, let's see if it'll go. You gotta wiggle it to get them to spread apart just right to get it aligned. That just does not want to turn. The little one just does not want to go into the block. It's sliding in there, but it's acting like it's caught on something on this end. You know what? I'm thinking it's hitting the rubber. It's hitting the rubber down there. Push that down and see if it'll go in. It sure is. It's hitting the block right there on the end, the block of rubber. Actually, it's a piece of plastic too. I see what it is. Yep, the end of that. That right there. It's just a little too long, and it's hitting the edge of that block, edge of the casing, which is odd because this one fit, and they were machined the same exact size. Maybe let's try going in this side first and then pulling it around. That might work. Yep, went right in. So getting it to fit down in the plastic is a little bit of a struggle, but fits snugly right around the line. The flare is caught on the lip right there, so good to go. And we just need to put, I already put new O-rings on this, so we will reinstall. Now that everything's pushed down where it needs to be, it just slides right on. This needs to go back on. Reinstall these inside. Screws. Get it just right. When you get the alignment just right, it'll go right in. There it goes. I'll play around with it. Definitely some close tolerances there. These are steel screws going into aluminum thread, so these just need to be snug. Go too crazy with it and you'll strip them out. Maybe 5-6 foot-pounds, 7 at the most. And we've got new new O-rings here on the lines. Make sure they're still good. There's no damage on them. They look fine. I'm probably going to order some of these M6 flange nuts, but for now, for testing, I'm just using a regular jam nut on it. First thing, I'm going to lift this up so you have some space here to get these tubes to align. Down into the expansion valve where they're supposed to go. This liquid line is kind of a pain. Millimeter. Crank this little one down. Get this flush all the way around. And this just secures the whole assembly. That's a tricky one. Snug it down. Done. Now we get to pressurize it with nitrogen and check for leaks. Then once that's done and we know that none of this is leaking, then we'll pull a vacuum below 500 microns and charge it. I need to look up the refrigerant amount for this. It's probably 18 to 24 ounces, more than likely, somewhere in that range based on the size of the coils. But that replacement plate and the hardware will be available. If you see this video and you need one for a 9000 that uses the plate, part number is actually online. I'll include it in the description of the video of the replacement original Saab part number that's not available. And you'll basically get it like this with the studs. These are stainless steel M6 studs, so they won't rust. They are adhered into the plate with red thread locker, so you can heat them and take them out if you need to replace them. But these are machined out of 6061 billet, so you don't have to worry about cracks like you do with the cast aluminum stuff. So, and holds threads really well. More info on that coming up. If you're interested in getting one, just post a comment on the video and I'll get up with you. Thanks.